Hi everybody, this is Ches from Retro Nirvana Gaming. Today we're going to be doing a video on all the boxed Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advanced games that we have in our collection here at Retro Nirvana. So starting off with Game Boy Advance, we have Mario Kart Super Circuit. This is an original copy I had when I was a kid. I picked this up from Toys R Us and I absolutely love this game. This box is in really good shape, and I've been keeping it in the protector ever since. Next we have Wario Land 2. This one even has the new release sticker on it. This one is also a childhood copy. This is a great game, by the way. Absolutely fantastic. Along with that, we have the Player's Choice version of Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3. This is a fantastic game. The first Wario game in the series, and it does feel a lot like a Mario game, and there's a lot of exploration of the world, and he has different powers than Mario. He has a charge attack. It's a really fun game. This one is in very minty shape, so yeah, very happy to have this, and Wario games have definitely kept their value over the years, so I think that one is really awesome to have in the collection. We also have Donkey Kong Land 3 for the Game Boy. This one is also compatible with the Super Game Boy, so you can actually play this on the Super Game Boy as well, on the Super Nintendo. This box is also very minty. There's just a little scratch right there, a little bit of scratch on the back, but otherwise very good. I'm looking to get a protector for this one because it needs one. I also have my childhood copy of Game & Watch Gallery. This is the original Game & Watch Gallery game for the Game Boy, also compatible with the Super Game Boy. This one is in very flawless shape. Yeah, so I also have to get a protector for that one. Next is Super Mario Advance. This is the player choice version. This one is not a childhood copy, but is a game I always wanted to get further along the line. I saw this a couple years ago. It's a little beat up on the sides. Other than that, I think for what I paid for it, I think it was actually a really good deal. And I'm very happy always to add a Mario game to the collection, especially for the Game Boy. I think it's really cool to get a Game Boy Advance game, and I think it was like maybe $20–30, so with the game in there, so I mean with the box included, so I was pretty happy with that. Next is Kirby's Pinball Land. We actually got this at a convention. We had the game loose, and now we have it loose and also in the box. It's not a very expensive game loose, but this box is actually in pretty good shape overall. Really happy with it, so we're definitely going to get a protector for that one. Next is Super Mario World, Super Mario Advance 2. This is a better version of the Super Nintendo version, where you can actually play one game pack, 4 players. It also has classic Mario Bros. Arcade included in the game. So this one was really great to get. Back in the day. This is still a childhood copy, yeah, this one's really nice, and I'm happy to have like any games that are like on the Super Nintendo on the Game Boy Advance. So back then it was really cool to play this portably on the Game Boy Advance, so very happy to have that in the collection still. There are some games I ended up losing when I moved, and so not all of them are here from when I was a kid, but a lot of them are, so I'm really happy. Next one is another childhood copy, Super Mario Land. This is the player's choice version. It's in very nice shape, and now that it's in the protector, it's still going to continue to keep its shape. This one is very easy game for the Game Boy. You can probably beat this in one sitting, because it's only, it's not very long. It's also not very hard overall, but it is very fun. The graphics are very tiny in this game, so you can tell they were working on the quality over the everything else. But yeah, this one still holds up. Very fun. You can definitely play this on Super Game Boy, and it's very fun. So next is a game I got off Mercari, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. So this is the Game Boy Color game. This is one of the best Mario games, especially for the Game Boy Color. I absolutely love this game, and very happy to finally have it in the box. So always nice to have another Mario game in the box. So very happy to have that. Now we have two very special games dear to my heart, and this is my childhood copy of Pokemon Red. This is the one I got from Toys R Us when I was a kid. Also, we have the other version, which is blue. So these are both childhood copies of Pokemon Red and Blue. These are going for quite a lot now, close to $300. They have absolutely everything in there, including the trainer's guide, all the inserts. Yeah, and both of these games have been beaten to completion with all 151 Pokemon. So yeah, even though it says 150, I think there was another, I think there was a Mew to catch at the end as well, so 151. So we were able to get all of them, both myself and my brother. Next is Final Fantasy VI, the Game Boy Advanced. This one I actually got from a local game store many, many years ago with the other one, which was Final Fantasy IV. So we got both of these in together. I was able to bundle them and get them for a pretty good price. And this one is partially sealed, so actually still has the plastic around it, the front and the back. It's basically the collector, whoever's collecting it, ended up selling it in this condition, but it is in great shape. I mean, I think I've maybe opened it once just to play it, make sure it worked, but it is really, really good shape. I mean, this thing is almost new, as you can see. Final Fantasy IV is still in pretty good shape. There's a little corner wear there, but yeah, this one is really, really nice overall. Very happy to have both of these in my collection. I do need to get a protector for this one. Next, we have a couple more heavy hitters. So we have my childhood copy of Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. So this one is probably the most important game besides Pokemon to me as a Game Boy collector. So I absolutely love this game. I beat it many, many times as a kid, and I love the Switch version, the remake. I think it's fantastic. Sometimes I do go back and play just the Game Boy version because I do enjoy it. It just seems a little more simple overall. And yeah, absolutely love it. This one is as complete as you can get. So I kept everything from when I was a kid. And then I also have the DX version, which has a new secret dungeon. So this is the color version. It does add a little bit to it, so it's a little more fun to play in color. And also, the new dungeon's pretty cool. I haven't checked it out myself, so I'm not sure, but it's supposed to be really cool. So this one is in really, really great shape as well. Very happy to have both Zeldas in the collection there. So next, another pretty heavy hitter, and that's Metroid 2 Return of Samus. This is another childhood copy, and this one is a million seller. I got this from Toys R Us back in the day. I have not been able to beat this game. It is a really, really fun game, but it is tough to kill all the Metroids in this game. Basically, you have to go and get rid of all of them. And so, yeah, I've gotten pretty far in the game, but never finished it. The music's good. This one doesn't really hold up too much compared to like the 3DS remake of this, but it's still worth quite a bit of money to have an original copy of Metroid 2. And so this is still one of the most expensive games on the Game Boy to have. Along with, next is Kirby's Dream Land 2, another childhood copy. This one is great to play on the Super Game Boy. It was also really fun to play on the original Game Boy. So this was a game that I couldn't stop playing when I was a kid on the Game Boy. Absolutely loved it. I very much cherished having a boxed copy of this from Toys R Us. That's basically where I always went as a kid, but to buy games is Toys R Us. So it was only a few miles away from my house at that point, and so my dad would take me down there, and we'd go shopping, and I would get a game. And so, yeah, very happy to still have Kirby's Dream Land 2. This is the first Kirby game I ever played. And now Lulu, her first game she's ever played was Kirby's Dream Land, the original. And so I also played this later on. This is the game where Kirby's actually white, and so it's not until the second game where they actually colored him pink. So very interesting little fact there. This one is a game we both owned as a kid. I owned it later after the fact. And Lulu had this basically when she was growing up. And so I got this from a convention. This one is in pretty good shape. There's a little staple on the front of it and actually goes through the back as well. Other than that, the box looks really nice. I think I paid $50 for the box in the game, so it's complete. A little more than I would have wanted to pay for it, but I was really happy to get it because I love Kirby, and so I'm happy to have that in the collection. And it's one of those purchases you're only going to purchase once and just hold on to. Next is Super Return of the Jedi, and then this is a regular Game Boy game, but it does play on the Super Game Boy. This one is quite hard, especially for a Game Boy game. It's a lot like the Super Nintendo version, just a little bit different. And so this one is a nice complete copy, very good shape. Definitely need to get a protector for that one. So now we have some other games that are not as good in terms of quality-wise, but they're still really fun. So I was able to get this for very cheap at a convention, and this is Spyro 2 Season of Flame for the Game Boy Advance. We actually own this in just the cartridge, so now we have the cartridge and the we have a cartridge version, and we have now a complete version. So very happy to have the Spyro 2 Season of Flame. And next is a sealed copy of Simpsons Road Rage. So this one we got from, I don't even remember where I got this one from. I think it was a yard sale or something like that. And so sealed copy, Simpsons Road Rage. Very happy to have this in there. And why not? Sealed copies are nice to have, so always happy to have that. Alright, next is Cartoon Network Block Party. This one is partially sealed. It is, I would say, 3/4 sealed because this part is actually open. So we ended up getting this one for pretty cheap, so of course, haven't played it, but it looks okay. So maybe someday we'll open it and play it, but anyway, not bad to have in the collection. And then the last game we have is Turok Battle of the Binosaurs. So this is, we loved Turok when we were kids, and so we got the Game Boy version. So this one is in really, really nice shape. This is also a childhood copy of this game. It's actually pretty fun. I played it a couple times. Does it hold up to the N64 one? No. Is it still really fun? Yes. And always cool to have something like this in the collection, and so I say why not. So that is a look at all our Game Boy games in the box. So we have a nice collection, I think, of a lot of different, especially original Nintendo titles. So we're very happy with the collection we have. What was your favorite Nintendo game you saw in this, or Game Boy game you saw in this collection? Is there a game that you really enjoy having in the box for any console, not just the Game Boy? Maybe there's a Super Nintendo game you have that you're like, oh man, I was so happy I got this in the box. I think collecting in the box is actually really fun. Yes, everybody can collect the cartridge, but having the box makes it even a little bit more special. It just really feels like you own a piece of the history of the game. And that's what we usually do here as physical collectors, is we try to archive, well, not archive, but we try to basically preserve these games so that we can play them for as long as we can. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe down below if you have not joined our channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.